Okay. But as you can see, I put the C and the D in red. As you can see here, each one stands for a different number, right? So we can have a number in front of the absolute value. We can have a number inside the absolute value. We can have a number that's subtracting from X, and then a number that is adding on the outside, okay? So right now what we're gonna do is focus on C and D, okay? So with C, if C is a positive number, then we actually, this is gonna be a translation to the left. And this, and again, this will make sense in a minute. If C is a negative, then we have a translation to the right. Again, C is a number that is inside the absolute values and inside the parentheses. Okay. Now with D, if D is positive, that is a translation.
Hey, sir.
Yeah.
I just want to say what's up, Rodrigo.
He can't see you.
Is that Gio?
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, man?
I know. Go ahead, sir. You can continue. Joe just want to say hi.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so D, if it's positive, then we're going to have a translation up. And if D is negative, then we're going to have a translation down. Okay, and again, we'll make sense of this right now in a minute. And I'll post these notes so we can write them down later on, okay? All right. So let's go ahead and
It's a graph.
right. So our parent function, we already know what our parent function looks like, right? It's going to be a V shape. So this is that's our parent function. F of X is equal to the absolute value of X. But what if we wanted to graph F of X is equal to the absolute value of X minus 2? And also, what if we wanted to graph F of X is the absolute value of X plus 2? So the number inside the parentheses, or sorry, inside the absolute values is our C. So if our C is negative and our C is positive. So if our C is negative, which way did I say we were going to shift? Which way were we going to translate to? If you guys can remember that. Anyone?
I'm blank, sir. I'm.
All right. So whenever our C is negative, so the number on the inside, if it's negative, which way should we translate the graph?
To the positive side.
Right. So it's actually the way it works is that it's positive because we're always subtracting from from x. So if it's subtraction, or sorry, if it's negative, then that means that we're going to move it to the right 2 times. And that's it, right? And then we graph it. That's what it looks like. Okay. Now, with the blue, that's a positive. So what actually ended up happening here, and let me rewrite it again, is that we had a negative 2 there. So what happened there is that it actually turned into a positive 2. Okay. And this is why we actually would shift this to the left. When it's a positive, we actually shift it to the left. So we're going to shift it to the left 2 times, and we just graph it. Okay, make sense?
I'm still kind of drawing blank, but hey, I'll see it again in the Google Classroom thing.
All right.
I understood that.
Okay, so our number on the inside of the absolute value, that decides which way we move horizontally. But then our number on the outside, our d, decides how we move vertically. So again, our parent function is absolute value of x. I'm just gonna graph that. So what if we wanted to do the absolute value of x plus 2, and then the absolute value of x plus or minus 2? So let's start with the red. If we're doing plus 2, where we go up or where we go down?
Up, right?
Yes. So with this one, there's no tricks. If it's positive, then it goes up. If it's negative, then it goes down. So the second
I see. I can't trust math right now because they're tricking us, sir. So you gotta be kind of on your feet, on your toes.
pretty much all the time, right? But that's it, right? Not too hard. The graph stays the same. All it does is just move up or down depending on what the number is.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
Have they told you anything about us going back next week?
No.
Thank God.
Why?
I want to go back.
You want to go back?
I don't.
Oh, you don't want to go back. So there was supposed to be a school board meeting where they're going to make a decision yesterday, and it got not canceled. They were having the meeting, and then they decided not to have it. I don't know. It was a really
sir,
weird.
it was because they decided not to talk about anything and they just left.
Yeah, because one of the board members, and I'm gonna have to cut this out here. Let me let me just pause it. The assignment, right? And I believe we kind of did this last year, right? But here, let me just bring this up. Okay, so all you have to do is graph the, I put up, it's 4 different equations that you have to do. And all you have to do is graph them. So let's say, for
with one of the
example,
equations, sir, can you show us how to graph?
well, I was just gonna come up with a random one, but let's say
No, sir.
let's say it's x minus 3. Okay. So what kind of translation would this be if we have a negative
Positive.
on the inside? It'd be a positive one. So we'd either, are we going to the right or to the left?
Right.
You were going to the right 3 times. Okay. So all you have to do is say, okay, I'm going to graph here. And actually, let me do it this way. So you're going to come up here and you can select the arrow. And all you have to do is I'm going to graph the parent function first, and it's going to start off at 0. There we go. And like that. Okay. So that's the first part. And now I'm going to graph the other one. So x minus 3, that means we're going to start off here at 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that one in a different color. So I'm going to come up here and say, I'm going to make it blue. No, actually, let me make it something else. Let me make it red. There. And then graph the other way. There we go.
Sir, who did you vote for?
I'm not going to say who I voted for.
Kanye 2020.
Everybody voted Kanye.
Did they really?
Yep.
He did get a good amount of votes, I think. Like he got
Yeah,
like
he
1,000
did.
or something.
Yeah.
All right. But you see right there what I just did? All I did was translate the graph 3 and just graphed it out. So as you can see, it's not too hard. All you have to do is come up here, click the arrow, and then just come and graph it. Okay? Pretty simple. Sounds good?
Yes.
And it's only four of them, so it's not too bad. And
Plus
of
the
course,
parent one?
you can graph the parent one if you want, but it's not required because I didn't put it up there. So